Few characters in modern comics are as morally complex as Samantha Strong, the seemingly innocent bear living in the quaint town of Woodbrook, and beneath the trees where nobody sees. At first glance, Samantha appears to be a friendly small town shop owner, but beneath that surface lies a methodical and ruthless serial killer who carefully maintains her secret life. The question that lingers throughout this series, however, is whether Samantha should be considered a hero, an anti-hero, or a villain. And you guys have certainly been fighting it out in the comments of my last few videos about this very question. Her actions blur the lines between self-preservation and brutality, making it difficult to place her within traditional character archetypes. However, I believe we can figure it out by looking at her motivations, actions, and the consequences of her behavior. In fact, I think we can determine which label, hero, anti-hero, or villain, most accurately fits her character and beneath the trees where nobody sees, by examining each from a critical perspective. So, what conclusion did I arrive at? Did your comments sway me one way or the other? Stay tuned to find out. Despite her violent tendencies, there is an argument to be made that Samantha embodies the qualities of a hero, though this argument is more difficult to sustain given the full extent of her actions. A key element of the hero archetype is the pursuit of justice, yet Samantha does not kill to protect others. She kills when she feels the urge to do so. However, she maintains strict control over her actions, choosing victims in the city rather than her current place of residence in Woodbrook. This ensures that her animalistic impulses do not bring harm to the people around her, which could be seen as a form of her protecting the people of Woodbrook, a twisted sense of responsibility. She is not indiscriminate. She ensures that her crimes do not disrupt the peaceful illusion that's been created in Woodbrook. One of the most striking examples of her stepping into a seemingly heroic role is of course her confrontation with Nigel. Unlike Samantha, Nigel's actions were sloppy and reckless, drawing suspicion to Samantha and causing unease among the citizens of Woodbrook. Samantha recognizes that Nigel's actions put her at risk, but she does not act against him out of a sense of duty to protect Woodbrook. She does so because his killings bring unwanted attention to Woodbrook and, more importantly, to her. By eliminating Nigel, she restores the illusion of peace, allowing herself to continue living and killing unsuspected in the city. While this act might resemble heroism on the surface, it is ultimately driven by self-interest, rather than a desire to protect others. Samantha's ability to maintain her facade and prevent widespread panic in Woodbrook could be interpreted as a form of heroism, as she indirectly ensures that the town remains a safe place, at least for those who are unaware of her true nature. However, this perspective is ultimately flawed, as her primary concern is always herself, not the well-being of those around her. This is what makes it so easy to sympathize with Samantha's struggles, but we can't forget what she really is, underneath her cozy exterior and her flannel shirt: a cold-blooded serial murderer. While there are aspects of Samantha's character that align with heroism, she more accurately fits the mold of an anti-hero. Unlike a traditional hero, an anti-hero operates with some moral ambiguity, often using questionable, arguably immoral, and outright illegal methods to achieve their goals. Samantha is not motivated by a sense of duty or selflessness. Instead, she is driven by her own personal urges and the need to maintain control over her double life and how the citizens of Woodbrook perceive her. One of the most compelling aspects of Samantha's characterization as an anti-hero is her strategic thinking when it comes to what she considers her territory. She does not kill recklessly or at all in Woodbrook, instead choosing to travel to the city where her actions are less likely to draw suspicion because of the large population. She is meticulous in covering her tracks, ensuring that her crimes remain separate from her public persona. This level of control suggests that she understands the gravity of her actions, a dynamic nature to her character, but she does continue to murder regardless, which is a defining trait of an anti-hero. Additionally, her relationships with others in Woodbrook are built on deception and half-truths. Samantha carefully constructs a persona that keeps suspicions at bay, allowing her to continue her actions without interference. This level of manipulation is characteristic of an anti-hero rather than a traditional hero, as it showcases a willingness to deceive and betray trust to accomplish her goals. Even when she does act against Nigel, it is not because she believes he must be stopped for the greater good. It is because his actions put her at risk. Her ability to rationalize his murder and manipulate those around her places her firmly in the realm of being defined as an anti-hero. It is certainly a stretch, but protecting Woodbrook could be related to Sam's twisted moral code, if you could even call it that. Her actions almost completely centering on self-preservation is a key point to consider here. A defining moment that might solidify Sam as an anti-hero is her confrontation with Melody as well. Rather than approaching the situation with compassion or concern, she invades Melody's privacy without question, sneaks into her home, and accuses her of being a murderer based on circumstantial evidence. Though her instincts ultimately lead her to uncover Nigel's true nature, her lack of empathy and extreme methods used in this situation, and when dealing with Nigel, make it difficult to see her as a traditional heroic figure. Despite her ability to mask her actions and maintain a respectable public image, it is impossible to ignore the fact that Samantha is, at her core, a serial murderer. Unlike an anti-hero who often uses a guiding moral code or a sense of justice, Samantha kills for the sake of fulfilling her own animalistic urges. She does not seek out criminals or those who deserve to die. She selects her victims in the city based on her own personal needs and convenience, like Daniel Brewer. This places her squarely in the realm of villainy, as her actions are entirely self-serving. One of the most compelling arguments for Samantha as a villain is her lack of remorse. Unlike many anti-heroes who struggle with their actions, Samantha does not show signs of guilt or an internal moral conflict. She embraces her role as a killer, without hesitation and without question, which sets her apart from the more conflicted anti-heroes like Batman and the Punisher. Her cold and calculating nature makes it difficult to argue that she is simply doing what must be done. She enjoys the game, the thrill of her kills, the thrill of her darker other side, and that enjoyment is what makes her dangerous. Additionally, her actions put others in harm's way. By murdering others, she runs the risk of bringing unwanted attention to Woodbrook, even if she limits her murders to the city. Her murder of Nigel, while seemingly an act of opportunistic heroism to those in Woodbrook, was purely a move to protect herself from exposure. Her self-righteous attitude and ability to consider alternative methods of self-preservation suggest she operates with a villainous mindset, never considering the innocence or guilty nature of her victims. To Sam, they are all a means to an end. Lastly, Samantha's story raises a larger philosophical question. Does the ability to hide one's crimes make them any less villainous? While she may not be an openly monstrous figure like other serial killers, or Nigel specifically, this does not move her any closer to being heroic. Her ability to blend in, to deceive those around her, makes her all the more dangerous. She perpetuates a cycle of violence under the guise of normalcy, ensuring that no one in Woodbrook ever suspects the truth. This deception, combined with her enjoyment of the hunt, solidifies her as a villain rather than a misunderstood anti-hero. So we've discussed all the labels that could be applied to Samantha Strong. So what's my conclusion? She's definitely a villain. Based on the evidence and characteristics of a hero, anti-hero, and villain, I think Samantha Strong is best classified as a villain. While she does exhibit some traits of a hero and an anti-hero, especially her concern for Woodbrook and those who live there, her motivations and actions align more closely with those of a villain. With Sam's lack of moral justification, she does not kill out of a sense of justice or even a personal code like an anti-hero would. Instead, she murders because she wants to, traveling to the city to satisfy her animalistic urges. There is no higher purpose or moral reasoning behind her actions, just an instinctual need to kill. This removes any potential argument for her being a vigilante or even an anti-hero who operates outside the law for a perceived greater good. Samantha's deception and self-preservation also confirm that she's a villain. A true hero and even an anti-hero often struggles with their morality and carries some form of internal conflict. Samantha, however, is cold, calculating, and completely comfortable with her double life. She has constructed a perfect facade in Woodbrook, where she plays the role of an innocent, friendly business owner while hiding her true nature. The fact that she only goes after Nigel because he threatens her cover, not because she wants to protect the town, reinforces that her priority is herself, not justice or the well-being of others. Sam is not redeemed and doesn't show remorse at all throughout this story. Many anti-heroes wrestle with guilt and question their actions, even when they use extreme methods. Samantha, on the other hand, is completely at peace with her need to kill. She does not hesitate, she does not regret, and she does not seek redemption for the things she's done. Even when faced with a direct threat to her life, her response is to eliminate the problem rather than consider a different path. Sam perpetuates violence. Rather than breaking the cycle of murder, Samantha is essentially in control of the entire cycle. Her presence ensures that more lives will be lost in the future, and she has no intention of stopping murdering others. This places her firmly in the villain category, as her existence and actions will only bring future harm to those who live in the city. In the end, while she may be a sympathetic villain and a compelling villain, the key word here is villain, and there is little evidence to support her being a hero or even an anti-hero. Samantha Strong is a ruthless predator, hiding in plain sight, making her all the more chilling as the villain in Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees. So Samantha Strong defies simple classification, but when we break down her motivations and her actions, it's clear that she fits the role of a villain more than anything else. She isn't out for justice. She doesn't have a moral code guiding her decisions, and she isn't trying to make the world a better place. She kills because she enjoys it. While her carefully crafted mask makes her all the more fascinating, it also solidifies her true predator nature in Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees. But what do you think? Is Samantha purely a villain, or does she have some complexity to blur the lines even further? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Comic Drops for more deep dives like this, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.